Tonight's boxing action proudly brought to you by Madison Sport.
Well, welcome along to the program. I'm Brian Kerwin. I'm joined this week by the ever-reliable People's Champion, Chris McCullen. How are you, Chris?
Yeah, I'm very good once again, Brian. It's great to come along to In the Red Corner Studios and help out and call the fights and get a good look at some good boxers.
Well, mate, we're going to call this fight right now. Those two boys that are just on screen in the red trunks is Pantera Masquera, and he is fighting Jamie Waru from New Zealand. Pantera not originally from New Zealand, and this is probably on paper a total mismatch, and let's see how it goes. Masquera with a wealth of experience as he unloads with a heavy body shot up against Waru, who has the experience but has a lot of losses on his record.
Yeah, both boys have been in with everyone, and as you can just see there, Pantera's he's a gamesman in the ring, and he's very Larry Southpaw, and he's going to try to upset Jamie Waru early on in the piece. Both boys been in with a lot of experienced boxers.
You mentioned a few of those experienced boxers, Chris, the latest of which in Australia has been Rocky Katsides.
Yeah, I was at that fight night, and Rocky Katsides come out all action-packed and just overwhelmed Pantera early, probably caught him a bit cold sort of thing, and it probably could have went on a bit, but that's the way it goes in boxing.
He's a definite showman. He was up at the weigh-in for the Katsides fight, and he hobbled out with a cane, and he said, "This old man is going to teach the young boy a lesson." Anyway, he didn't teach anyone anything. He copped an absolute hiding, actually.
He did. Mick was probably a little bit peeved off at Pantera's antics and come out to prove a point in front of his local crowd as Pantera takes action straight up to Jamie Waru, who's on the back foot early on.
Probably not the wisest move of Pantera's career to get Rocky Katsides madder than he'd want him.
No, well, Mick was he was there to impress in front of his local crowd, and was probably the wrong place at the wrong time and the wrong antics for Masquera.
Now, this fight night, for those that don't know, was come from New Zealand at the ABA Stadium in Auckland. It was filmed late last year, and we're calling these fights from the studio, of course. We're not sitting ringside, and it's good to bring these type of fights to the Australian public, Chris, because we don't often see other fights and the quality of these guys.
Yeah, it's a good mix-up. You know, the guys, you know, that was a little bit low, maybe. Well, he's called it a knockdown.
It did catch him low. Yeah. The referee didn't see that though. He's put the count on him.
Yeah, so it's good for the local people to see, you know, some international fighters, and especially someone of the calibre of Pantera Masquera. He lands a beautiful lead left. He's got Jamie Waru in all sorts at the moment.
There's some local relevance to Pantera Masquera fighting, because he actually had a unanimous decision over Love More to Do about 3 years ago, and which was a shock to most, but he did it quite easily. As the boys have a bit of a laugh and a giggle, although Jamie Waru is not having much of a laugh and a giggle.
He hasn't got too much to laugh about at the moment, Jamie Waru. Pantera is well on the attack and way too strong by the looks of it early on.
I think he was outscored about 440 punches to 3 there, Chris.
Yeah, so I don't even know if he landed a punch on Masquera, but
I'm going to give him 3. I like your dog.
Okay.
Yes, so Love More to Do, for those that don't know as well, has just picked up the IBF Junior Welterweight title from Ben Rabara, fellow newcomer to Australia, but now an Australian citizen. And that's a great victory for Love More, Chris.
Yeah, personally I thought Nafel Ben Raba would be too good for him, too classy, but it just shows, you know, the fight going for 12 rounds, and Love More fought for 12 rounds. You can be flashy and you can look as good as you want in the early piece, but the old stayer, Love More to Do, he come home and was too good for him and stopped him in the 11th round, I think.
As Pantera just kicks the seat out from the ring, so proceedings can continue.
So he's doing a bit of the boxing, a bit of the corner work. He's having a good old laugh in the corner during the break, so he's very relaxed, Pantera.
Not knowing the background behind this matching, when I was there to film this fight, it was I was quite shocked to see these two in the ring because of their just different levels of experience, and as we see Pantera showboat a little.
He's be a good person to have on the boxing scene, because he'd certainly get the crowd into it over here, and well, he'd be on the wrong side of the crowd, I would presume, but he'd be a good entertainer to come to Australia again, that's for sure.
Now up on the screen you can see the Bad Blood rematch, which is happening at Kedron Wavell Services Club. Some footage from that night. These two boys, Matt Powell and Muhammad Elamar, went at it like wild savages for 4.5 rounds until both of them were disqualified. That rematch is on again, so February 16. This is going to be a big night. Chris, you've taken on a role of in the corner with Matt Powell, so you'll be right in the thick of things, mate.
Yeah, well, I won't be in centre ring, that's for sure, but hopefully the boys, as we spoke about earlier on, that you know, it's going to be a lot more respectable to the boxing scene, and hopefully it's a very entertaining fight, and I'm looking forward to helping Matty out, and good luck to him.
Well, up on the Ace Boxing Promotions.com website, we have there's a poll running, and it says who will win Bad Blood rematch. Now 62% of the respondents have said that Matt Powell will win. 20% have said Muhammad Elamar, as Pantera unloads a few more. 10% have said both are going to DQ again, and the rest have said who cares as long as they get it on. So I can't wait for that night.
No, I think it's a night as well that the Brisbane fans are lucky to have it up here, you know, and it's a credit to Ace Boxing Promotions for getting it on, because the whole of Australia would have loved to see this fight, you know, live, and it would have been one of the most watched fights around, I would say.
Yes, the tickets are available from Kedron Wavell Services Club. Just call into the reception, call up the club. They can do any transactions over the phone, and be sure not to miss this night.
Jamie Waru, he's showing a big heart, but he doesn't really want to be in there, I'm guessing, at the moment. Pantera's in full control, and he's doing what he wants at the moment, and the safety of the boxers should start to get looked at soon.
I give a lot of respect to Jamie Waru here. He's obviously in a fight against a guy that's not in his league, and he's sticking to his guns and he's sticking to his basics, and I think he'll land a few later on. I'm looking forward to it.
I fully agree. You know, all credit to him, and he's helped out a lot of boxing promotions, you know, of late, and hopefully he picks it up a little bit later on.
Well, as this round, he's going to last this round now. We're going to go to a break on In the Red Corner as Pantera gives him a little action of his own after the break. We'll see you after this. Well, welcome back to In the Red Corner. I'm Brian Kerwin, joined by Chris McCullen, the People's Champ. And Chris, you've seen this fight all one-way traffic to Pantera Masquera at the moment, haven't you?
Yeah, look, it's as Jamie Waru tries to go a little bit low, and look, Pantera's showing him no respect in there at the moment. He's throwing tactics at him, and he's balking him and poking faces, and Jamie Waru's just got to try and get some good respect back. I'd like to see him land a good clean punch on Pantera.
If he keeps sticking his chin out often enough, Jamie Waru is not that bad of a pug, and he will land a couple.
If Jamie just uses his jab a bit more, you know, if he does try and land a punch, it's all a big haymaker. He should just get in behind that jab a bit more and try and cut the ring off. So Pantera, at the moment, you can see Pantera's just controlling centre ring. He's moving around, and then he'll get back to centre and work again. He'll go back to the open area, work his way back to centre, and he'll attack again. Well, Jamie's got to not let him get that centre spot back. Nice left hand.
Southpaws are quite often awkward to watch, and often lead to a bad fight, but Pantera Masquera is quite elegant to watch, actually. He's got great technique, and you lose the fact that he is a southpaw.
Yeah, very much so. He's a classy boxer, that's for sure. Be good to see him in some big fights. How old is he, Brian?
I think the age is going to pull him up, Chris. He's 42. He was 42 really? When he had this fight.
What a credit to him.
I'd say you'll look like he does when you're 42, Chris.
Oh, I don't think so. What a credit to him. He does a bit of training still, obviously.
And I think even though he is 42, he's that level of fighter that he's going to beat these guys all the time, every day of the week, in fact. And,
sure.
The other guys, well, they're a bit that's a risky fight for them.
Yeah, that's probably the way it is. It sums it up perfectly. He gets in with guys like Mick Katsides and guys like that, and he's rolled very quickly and jumps back in with these level of guys and just dominates. So
come on, just fight on.
Well, just then, Jamie Waru will learn this lesson. Defend yourself at all times. He's hooked the low blow. He's looked at the ref, and Pantera Masquera's went bang, hit him with a left hand to the chin.
From what I've seen so far, I wouldn't expect Pantera to do anything different.
He's a cagey old schooler, isn't he? I like him. I want him to cop a few, but I like him.
He's got the moves, great footwork ability. Obviously, he's been around for a long, long time, so...
I think he's got a lot more to offer boxing, even if he doesn't fight again. I think he's a trainer for his technique and his ring craft. He'd be excellent as a trainer, I think.
I think he's still got something to offer boxing. I'm shocked to hear that he's 42 years old.
How about the People's Champ has a fight with Pantera Masquera? Yeah. Chris, I'll put it on you right here, mate.
Yeah, that appeals to me. That's the sort of thing that he's probably open to, testing guys' limits like myself, and there's plenty of more guys out there. You know, he's a serious test for guys like myself. It's it's a very interesting fight.
Well, he's a very relaxed man in the corner. Yes. Jamie Waru is the complete opposite. He's in contrast to Pantera. He looks like he doesn't want to go another minute.
He doesn't look too happy, Jamie Waru.
Well, this fight's scheduled for 6 rounds. It is a junior welterweight contest. It is Pantera Masquera's 49th fight. And Jamie Waru, how many has Jamie Waru had at that stage, Chris?
I'm not too sure.
Had about 25.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think he'd had about 25 up to that stage. Maybe 40.
Yeah, I think that's very close in numbers.
And for those of you who don't know, there's a great resource out there available to boxing fans. It's called boxrec.com. Now, you can go there and type in any name of any fighter of any era. The earlier years are getting updated constantly, so that's renewing, and it's a great resource to find matches, and promoters use it quite often, but it's boxrec.com. So if you want to find out about our past fighter or one of your current favourites, check that website out.
I quite enjoy watching Pantera move around. I love watching a good mover, and even though he's got some bad antics, that's just his game, but he's quite a nice boxer to watch. I'm enjoying watching him fight. I didn't get to see much of him when he fought Mick Katsides. Mick just got rid of him quite early, and it didn't take his rubbish as poor Jamie Waru's copping at the moment.
I was actually disappointed with that fight with Michael Katsides. I thought Pantera had something more to offer than what he did on the night, and it was over in a heartbeat, really.
Yeah, it was, yeah. He was overwhelmed, and he had no chance to set like he is here. Mick just took it up to him, and every time Pantera wanted to set, Mick would land a powerful shot on him, then overwhelm him with punches in bunches.
Now, you've sparred Michael Katsides on a number of occasions, Chris, and you've said to me, and I don't know whether this is in confidence or not, but he's one of the strongest fighters that you've ever been in the ring with.
Yeah, he's a pleasure to get in and work with, and a pleasure for me to work with, but he's very, very strong puncher. More his physical presence in the ring is amazing, and that's where, you know, he'll at the top he's gonna, you know, find some tough fights, but his physical presence and crowding the ring is one of his best assets, along with his power.
Well, he's got a big world title shot coming up, and for those of you that can see the Bad Blood rematch, that'll be February 16 at the Kedron Wavell Services Club. Some of those other fights that are on that night, Chris, we've got Jason Konoski and Barry Sewell. We spoke about that one. It's the young lion and the old stager, and we've got another one, Andrew Gosden up against June Geraldino. He's one of the Filipino boys, and we know how tough they are. You've fought a few of them yourself.
Yeah, well, we know obviously Geraldino, he'll come to fight, and it's going to be good to see how Andrew Gosden goes. He's so far unsuccessful, but he looks very promising in the pro ranks and very strong fighter. So
yeah, I agree. I think for the fights that he has lost, he's lost no fans whatsoever, because he's a in-your-face style fighter. He loves to mix it up with the guys, and he's entertaining.
He's certainly going to be a crowd favourite in time to come, and as we've already spoke about Konoski and Sewell, that's going to be a very entertaining fight, and as you just said, the old stage against the new stage, and I'm very interested in that fight as well.
And the big boys, we can't go a fight night without the big boys. We've got Cole McAway Jr. up against Greg Tomlinson from Bow Desert, he comes from. And those two boys are going to go at it in the heavyweight ranks. Have you seen either of those boys go around, Chris?
No, I haven't, but I don't think that matters. When you get two novice heavyweights, well, you're in for an action-packed fight, that's for sure.
Well, we're going to talk more about February 16 coming up after this break as Pantera closes this round out. And in the red corner, we'll be right back after these very short messages. Well, welcome back to the program. I'm Brian Kerwin, joined by the Australian Junior Welterweight Champion, Chris McCullen. Now, Chris, just before the break, we were speaking about the fights at February 16 at Kedron Wavell. Another fight on there is someone that you know as well, is Graham Fowler up against Ashley White. Both boys making their pro debut. Both want to impress. How will you see that, mate?
Yeah, well, obviously, I'll be helping Graham out on the night. He trains in our gym with Gareth Williams. And he's a very strong and rugged fighter who likes to get in and work a lot. And we've heard big raps on Ashley White. He's a very experienced kickboxer or Muay Thai fighter and having his first boxing fight. So, yeah, hopefully Graham, he's trained hard. I know he's trained very hard for the fight, and he's had a change of opponent, and it hasn't phased him one bit. He's just kept focused, and be very good to see how Graham goes on the night.
And also on the night, we have 3 amateur bouts. Trent the Terrible Broadhurst is up against Canberra opponent, and Brendan Wilson is up against... Who's Brendan Wilson fighting, mate?
He's fighting a guy...
Aaron Reid, isn't he?
Yeah, Aaron Reid from the same stable as Jed O'Mani, our Commonwealth Games and Olympian 69-kilo fighter.
And also our Brisbane's Commonwealth Games representative, Nathan DiCarlo, is returning to the ring up against young Pavinsky from Canberra. So that'll be a great fight.
Yeah, well, Mark's a very awkward fighter, but Nathan's trained for this, and he's trained very, very hard, as he does every fight. And we spoke on earlier programs about this upcoming fight with Nathan. It's going to be a good test, and I'm sure he's up to it.
Mate, I'm looking forward to all the fights on the night, and that's February 16 at the Kedron Wavell Services Club. Nothing like being at the fights live. The atmosphere is fantastic.
And if there's any better atmosphere than Kedron Wavell, along with Mansfield Tavern, I'm yet to find it. It's an unbelievable venue to watch boxing, and I'm telling you now, it's going to be a great atmosphere with the fights that's being matched on this card. It's one not to miss, that's for sure.
Yes, it's a great venue. You've got a lot of room downstairs. There's about 4 different bistros. There's a buffet. There's a whole night's entertainment. So you don't have to just turn up and come to the fights. Stay around and play the pokies and get involved with the club. It's a great club. As Waru, he's still trying, mate. I've got to give him a lot of credit. He knows he's getting on a hiding to nothing.
Look, and the crowd's probably gone a little bit quiet on this because Pantera could have got rid of this guy by the looks of it any time, but he's an old warrior, Jamie Waru, who comes at him with his own right hand.
Good stuff.
You can only give guys like this credit, you know. Look, as long as they don't get hurt, and it's probably nearly time for them to call a halt to this fight, but Jamie Waru has shown what a heart and what a fighter he is.
Well, he just landed a nice combination there. And that's his persistence. He could have went to water and said, nah, I'm turning it up. But he stuck to his guns, and he stayed with his technique, and he's landed. So good luck to him.
Oh, nice leg left. Look at his work. Oh, and he's come across Jamie Waru with his own right hand. Left hook, sorry. Pantera, he's a showman, isn't he?
After 40 fights, I think Waru should realise the ref's not going to help you when the other bloke's throwing punches at you. You got to keep your eyes on him and not the other guy.
Well, protect yourself at all times. He's got a great kit of punches, Pantera. Great angles, great movement, great footwork.
1 minute he's in front of you, the next minute he's on the side of you, hitting up the side of the head. He would be a very awkward opponent, Chris.
Oh, he would be.
I would love to see you and him mix it up at the Mansfield Tavern or anywhere, really.
Yeah. I certainly like the look of that.
I might have to have a word with the great Angelo DiCarlo, Ace Boxing Promotions, super matchmaker and promoter, to see if he can get that fight on.
It'll be a very entertaining fight anyway, tactical.
Well, I believe that's the end of the 5th round. Pantera Masquera is pitching a shutout. He's going to use the baseball terms. He's trying to liven the crowd up.
Certainly a shame in this one. Jamie Waru, he's trying his heart out in there.
Yeah, the ABA Stadium in Auckland was the venue for this fight night. It was held late last year, and we were lucky enough to go across and film this night for those guys. It was Heartland Boxing that promoted the night, and actually this was the night before, so this was the ABA's own promotion that night.
Yeah, no, Pantera's certainly a good fighter, and Jamie Waru's he's having a real dig. And look, he's no spring chicken either. He's 34, and he's a great ambassador for boxing, helping out the promotions all the time, and certainly entertaining the crowd.
Mate, back in 2002, Jamie Waru fought the great Jeff Flash Malcolm. Flash Malcolm, for those of you who don't know, he's probably one of Australia's only professional boxers to record over 100 professional victories. He did that inside of about 130 or 40 fights, and he won plenty of titles, including a WBF world title, I think it was. And he's a great ambassador for the sport and a colourful, entertaining character, Chris.
The Flash, well, I'm very good friends with the Flash, and there's not many better people to sit down and have a chat with and a laugh. He's a prankster, he's a joker, and but when he gets serious and talk boxing, you can't help but sit down and listen because of his quality stories. He certainly tries to pull the wool over my eyes with some jokes over the time, that's for sure. He's good at it.
Well, Waru's trying to pull the gloves over his eyes. He's hoping that Pantera's not going to be there when he lifts him away, but he still is, and he's still throwing plenty at him.
We're in the last round, and both boys actually, Pantera, it was good to see him show some good respect towards Jamie Waru. Oh, and that wasn't real respectful, that's right. He's a crafty character. But if Jamie just, has a go, put some punches together, and he might catch Pantera out, put him on the back foot a little bit. At the moment, Pantera's just dominating. He's got Waru wherever he wants him, which is like able for Pantera to land his punches at will. So if Jamie Waru could just put some punches together and back Pantera up a bit, there could be a little different to this. Both boys, they've had a head clash somewhere along.
Jamie's copped one up in the back of the head. I don't know whether he hit his hip or something, because Pantera was feeling and asking for his hip like a low blow had occurred.
So once again, we can see the Bad Blood rematch on the screen.
These two boys, Matt Powell and Muhammad El Amar, they were like caged animals going at it, Chris. That was a massive punch, that one.
I think on the night we were all in shock of what was actually going on. You don't see it very often in boxing. Most of the time it's a very respectful sport, and everyone was sort of shocked to see what was going on.
Well, those two boys know it's for the Australian title, and they know that I think Brad Vicali may be refereeing that fight, and he's not going to put up with any of their antics. And as our referee here, the New Zealand referee, tells both of these boys to keep their mouths shut, so they need to respect the third man in the ring, and they know it's for the Australian title, and I think they'll do it, Chris.
Yeah, well, there's none more to respect and none better than Brad Vicali on the Australian soil. We've got some great referees out there, and Brad's probably one of at the top of the tree, and he'll certainly take control, and he won't take any of the antics that the boys are going to try and dish out as Pantera's on the attack here.
I think Queensland's a bit blessed with the good referees. We've got the great Phil Austin and the debonair Derek Millam.
Yeah, the ace Austin, great. He's done me a few times. I've had Derek Millam. They're all great. Chris Daly.
As these two boys are quite happy it's finished, Jamie Waru is a bit more happy than Pantera and Masquera.
Yeah, I think Jamie Waru is quite happy. Pantera looks like he could have went another 6. It doesn't really worry him. And
as the referee lifts Pantera and Masquera's hand in victory.
What about the shape of the man at 42 years of age?
That's incredible, Chris.
It is incredible.
And I can't wait to see you in a ring and him on standing opposite.
Is he taller than me? What's the go?
I think he would be taller than you. There's a few little year 7 kids that are probably a bit taller than you as he talks with the crowd and thanks them for turning up in attendance. He's a very respectful guy, Pantera Masquera.
He is. He has got the antics and little disrespectful at times in the ring, but he's shown great respect here to his opponent.
Well, that's about it for this week's episode, Chris. Thank you for coming, and we'll be back with more in the red corner next week.